This is me post gym and post reflection. I just spent quite a bit reflecting about some really important things, and I'm absolutely going to share my thoughts on in due time because I know that I'm experiencing a transformation right now, experiencing a transformation, and I'm documenting all of it. I am so excited to share it, but I'm not going to share it yet because there are some things that need to happen first. But I wanted to talk about Valentine's Day. Because I was thinking this morning, I had some interesting thought patterns regarding Valentine's Day, but it's not what you would expect. Frankly I didn't even think about Valentine's Day. I didn't even realize that it was happening, that it was coming up. I wore black on Thanksgiving. I don't know what it is lately with me calling Valentine's Day. I've been calling it Thanksgiving constantly. I literally don't know why. I can't believe I just said that again. I've corrected myself a million fucking times on the fact that it's not Thanksgiving, it is Valentine's Day. I don't know why the fuck I keep calling it that. That is so funny. It's not like I keep calling it Christmas. I keep calling it Thanksgiving. Why? I don't know. I have no answer for that. But I guess maybe it spills into how little I have cared about its existence. Like, I cared way more about Thanksgiving because it's spent with my family, but with Valentine's Day I was just like, oh shit, oh, it's coming, oh hi, hello, it's here. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I wore black. Like, and I saw like a friend and they were like, oh, you're wearing black today? Where's your red? Where's your pink? And I was like, oh shit, it's Valentine's Day, I forgot. And all my students got little gifts, got little things from their teachers, and I was like, oh, I completely forgot. Like, I have nothing for you. My bad. We're just gonna say I almost said it again, not happy Thanksgiving, happy Valentine's Day to each other, and that's just gonna be, that's all we got. I didn't think about it. I didn't plan for it for my students. I didn't do anything because it's just not important to me. And I'm not saying any of that to sound like I'm mad that I don't have a partner, and so therefore I'm gonna purposely forget about Valentine's Day. Did you see that? I almost said Thanksgiving. What the fuck? Like, it's just not on my radar. It's not on my radar. And I ended up making a post on Instagram about Valentine's Day, and I didn't expect to, but I posted a video of me with my students on yesterday, and I was wearing like this cute little Valentine's Day thing, and I posted a selfie in the mirror. I was like, am I gonna give this back to my student who I like took this from? Probably not. And it was like this little Valentine's Day crown. I posted something, and I was just reflecting on the fact that like I literally loved yesterday. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. I loved yesterday, 3 on the clock. Teaching was so much fun. I had a great day, and really I had a great day because I've been trying to get in the groove of teaching, and I've finally allowed myself to just like kind of surrender and be there and be myself and be present, because it's been really difficult for me like these past few months. And I've been going through so many changes, especially recently, that, it translated into my teaching, and I just have come to so many realizations recently. And so yesterday I was just like chilling. I was being myself. I was having fun, and I was enjoying my coworkers, and I was enjoying where I was at, and it was just great. I had so many wholesome moments that I could literally fucking cry. Like, I could cry talking about just being with my beautiful coworkers. Like, at the end of the day, I went and visited a classroom who gifted me this little gumball machine of chocolates the day prior, and I was like, guys, you are amazing. Happy Valentine's Day. Have a great school break. We'll see you in a week. Like, I love all of you. You are beautiful. Chef's kiss. Never change. We love you so much. And they were just so sweet. And they were like, come and get some coffee anytime. Like, we always have coffee ready. They were just so nice. And then I was, at the end of the day, I got to leave a few minutes early. So instead of leaving early, I just went from classroom to classroom with my friends and like stopped in, said hi to the kids. And I saw like two of my coworkers merge their classrooms together. And so there were so many students in there. I saw my dear coworkers. I gave them hugs. Another former student walked in and said goodbye to me. I had these kids telling me about the dates they were going to go on that night for Valentine's Day. Like, there were just so many wholesome moments that I was like, my cup is so full. My cup is so full. Like, I cherish those moments. I cherish, like, I could cry right now because these moments are so beautiful. When I walked into my classroom with all the merged classes, the merged students, there were so many, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is like a party. What? I love it. I just love it. I love it. I love it. And it was good vibes. And those little moments make life. They are the definition of life. Just being present and being with all of the love, all of the abundance, all of the energy, all of the goodness. That is the meaning. Because what's the point of living life completely stressed 24/7? So just soaking in those moments, allowing that goodness, that richness, that gratitude, that love to remain within you and to utilize it as long as possible, as much as possible, give it back into the world, give compliments, do this, do that, spread that energy. Like, that's what life is about. And so I was just on cloud nine. I was like reflecting. I was so grateful. I was like, I just have so much to be grateful for. And it was overwhelming. So I made a post on Instagram and I was like, you know what? For the people out there right now who are scrolling, because if you looked at Instagram yesterday and even today too, it was just Valentine after Valentine after Valentine. And I was like, I know that there are people out there right now who are feeling it. And I even had students who were feeling it. They were so upset about the fact that they were looking at everybody around them experiencing these Valentines, receiving little gifts, and they felt like they were not enough because they didn't have anybody to celebrate Valentine's Day with. And so I know if the kids are feeling it, there are adults out here feeling it, because guess what? If you're an adult, the stakes are a little bit higher because you're like, oh my God, I'm getting older. I don't have a partner. I should have a partner right now. I feel like I haven't made it. I feel like everybody else can see that I'm single and it's weighing down on me. I know that there are people out there who have those thoughts. And so I decided, I was like, you know what, we're going to post something because I'm feeling this and I'm feeling the richness of life. I'm feeling the gratitude. I'm feeling the love. I'm seeing the love in my life. I want to make a post about this. So I made a post and it was like, if you don't have a Valentine, that is okay, because the connections you've made, the community you have built, the lives you have impacted, and the lives that have impacted you is evidence of the love and abundance in your life. We don't need a holiday to show us that, but a lot of times if we feel like we're lacking it, this day, Valentine's Day, can be a huge reflection and like in your face what you are fearing right now and what you feel that you're lacking. And so I put that out there. And this morning, I want to go into depth about all of this. This is totally worth listening to because I'm about to go into the thought processes that are calling you to change them, and pour love into them. So, because the brain is really sneaky and it's the one thing that requires us to pay attention to it so that we can manifest everything that we want in life. So this morning I was thinking about that fucking post that I made. I was like, I really hope that, people, this is real. If you pay attention to your thoughts, you're going to see things like this too. It's just hilarious. But the brain does and tells us. But I literally thought this morning, I was like, I hope that people don't think that I made that post because I was feeling bad about myself not having a Valentine. I hope that people don't think that I'm out here trying to make other people feel better in order to make myself feel better, because my intentions were not that. And I was like, you know what? Who gives a fuck? Like, it literally doesn't matter what other people think. And I'm not in control of how people perceive my words. I'm not in control of how people view me and what I say and what I do, and it's none of my business, and it's not my responsibility to change it. And that goes for you too. I know my intentions for posting that, and it doesn't mean anything about my life anyway if I don't have somebody in my life. And so who cares? And I decided not to spend any more energy on that. I didn't even really spend that much energy on it. It was just like a thought, and I was like, we're not gonna let this thought fly. We're gonna correct it, and we're gonna rewire that neural pathway with every single effort I put into changing thoughts like that. And that's called conscious reprogramming. But anyways, and I teach that in my coaching program. But yeah, so I thought about that, and I was like, I'm gonna go and make a video on this, because people do need to hear this. This is what, yes, this is what I was gonna. So I was like, okay, so I started with that thought and I corrected it. And I noticed as I was correcting it, I was like, I almost started to feel like I should, like I almost started to conjure up the emotions, because I am an empath, but I'm a different kind of empath. I almost started to conjure up the emotions of the people who are feeling a type of way about Valentine's Day and are feeling a type of way scrolling through Instagram, seeing post after post after post. I almost started to conjure up those emotions about my 11:11 on the clock, about myself. I was like, like, I don't even know how to explain it, but I almost was thinking like maybe I should feel bad that I don't have a partner. And I was like, no, that's a false thought. I don't think that whatsoever. I am very happily single. I am so happy being single. I'm so happy. I love being single, not because of the freedom that gives me to go like see other people casually, but because I just like being single. I like it, and I don't attach my self-worth to whether or not I'm in a relationship. And I genuinely trust and know that I'm going to meet the divine partner. And I'd rather be patient with that process anyway and grow into the person, whether I'm dating or not, that is ready for that relationship, the divine relationship in which I grow with somebody towards unified and shared goals. Because I have learned as a result of my divorce and as a result of dating that I genuinely want to be with somebody who shares similar goals, who wants to make an impact with me, alongside me. And so I could go into depth on that, but I am very patient with that process, and I am totally okay with not being with anybody at any given point, because I know that that is what I am working towards. And so the lack of evidence of it in my life is definitely not a reflection of my potential for it. And it's definitely not a reflection of my worth at all. I know fully well that I could probably, let's be honest, if I wanted to get somebody, a boyfriend, whatever, I could go get it tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any hesitation about that. So like, I've done a lot of work in this area. My self-worth is absolutely 0% tied to having a relationship. And so I noticed that my mind started to do that. It started to trick me a little bit. And I was like, no, halt. Hi, hello, no. We don't feel that way. That doesn't align with me. It doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't even affect me. It doesn't trigger me, which is great. I'm so proud of myself for getting to that point. Let's go. That's the evidence of this work. We love it. But I was like, if that's happening to me, I can only imagine what the brain of somebody who is triggered and by the Valentine's Day post and does attach their self-worth to having a relationship or a lack thereof. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like for somebody in that position. And so I wanted to talk about that specifically. First and foremost, I just want to make it clear, your worthiness, your own personal worth and value as a human being is not associated with whether or not you have a partner. I just want to make that clear. But let's dive into that a little deeper. Because if you find yourself like on Valentine's Day, you probably saw Valentine's Day post after Valentine's Day post. You're scrolling, you see this person in love, that person in love, this person got flowers, this person is getting engaged, this person is reflecting on their marriage. And then you're like, oh my God, I don't have a partner. I haven't even gotten married. I'm almost 30. What's going on in my life? When am I going to get married? I'm not worthy enough for a partner. And maybe you are not consciously thinking all of this, but there are sneaky little thoughts in your brain that are conveying this message to you. And if you were kind of stuck in this gloom and doom state yesterday on Valentine's Day, these were probably the concerns and fears floating through your head. And it makes us question ourselves. It makes us question whether or not we will ever meet somebody, if we will ever be able to maintain a relationship, if we will ever feel confident enough to keep a relationship or make a partner happy, or whether or not we will be able to like end up marrying that person, or are we just going to get into another failed relationship that's going to end after a year and then we feel like we've wasted even more time. It's like all of these thoughts can find their way into our minds. They're very sneaky, very tricky. The brain loves to kind of catastrophize and think of the worst case scenario. That's because humans have a negativity bias. And we remember the negative things, the doom and gloom things that have created fear in our lives, and sparked fear in our lives, and have almost like manifested our worst nightmare. We remember that more than even the good moments, or like they cloud our ability to project a good positive future, especially when we've had plenty of evidence in our lives to show that we haven't had long-term sustainable relationships or whatever, what have you. But I want to make something very, very clear. Your brain operates according to what's familiar. Your brain operates according to what's normal. It tries to protect you. And if it perceives that what is normal is fleeting relationships, or relationships that end, or you getting triggered in relationships, getting jealous, getting envious, or feeling held back by a relationship, or feeling like your light was dimmed by a relationship, any scenario in which something created inauthenticity, fear, so on and so forth, your brain is going to try to protect you from that. And therefore, it's going to, one, create thoughts that are familiar, associated with your past and your experiences and your patterns. And it's also going to create thoughts that keep you from getting into a relationship or even attracting a relationship, which is ironic because it's exactly what we want. It is literally the source of our fear and lack of sense of worthiness. Ironic. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that is okay. All of these things are good because it's actually the brain keeping us safe. It's doing what it's doing. The brain is just doing what it's doing. And, you know, it used to serve us when we had to hunt and we had to protect ourselves and stick with our community and stay safe from real life-threatening threats. And now it's just kind of projecting that onto your everyday experience, like relationships or even something way smaller than that. So the brain is just doing what it's doing, but I want you to know that these are just thoughts. And I'm pausing because that's a really important idea. It's just a thought. It can't hurt you. It can't do anything to you unless you let it, unless you say, you know what, that's true. Yeah, I am a worthless piece of shit and I can't get a relationship. You're right. You're right. It can't do anything for you. And it's literally just speaking based on what it knows. It's kind of like this little toddler that doesn't know any better. And it's just saying what it's saying over and over, trying to get what it wants. It's like, can I have a cookie? No. Can I have a cookie? No. Can I please have a cookie? No. It's like your toddler doesn't know any better. Like your toddler, a toddler doesn't know any better. Just like your brain is just reading from a script that it's been handed. And it's just saying things. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. It has no power over you. And you can actually choose to think a different thought on purpose. Because we're also socially conditioned to believe that, ready? We're socially conditioned to believe that we must have a relationship, because if you don't have a relationship, you're not masculine. Or if you don't have a relationship, you're not good enough. If you're a woman versus or a man, it doesn't matter. Like, we have all associated this socialized idea of masculinity or enoughness or success, life success, or love if we have a relationship. We have associated those things. And that's a socially conditioned idea. It's not necessarily, it's not true. It's not even necessary. It is not true. It's not true, because you see plenty of people who are single. Hi, hello, me. I'm a prime example, but there's like so many other people out there who are happy, feel fulfilled, who feel successful, who don't feel like they need a relationship. There are plenty of people who don't buy into this socially conditioned idea, and the same can be true for you. So with that being said, I want you to know this is just a thought, and we're conditioned to believe that we can't be successful, or can't be enough, or can't be masculine enough, can't be feminine enough unless we have a relationship. But I want you to think, what other evidence in your life do you have to support the idea that you are masculine? And does the idea of masculinity or femininity or enoughness even align or resonate with whether or not you have a relationship? I'm going to tell you something right now. Buying into this idea that you need a relationship in order to be successful, this socially conditioned idea that was ingrained in you from day one, it doesn't give you what you want. It doesn't even really help. And it only diminishes our sense of self-worth even more. So how is it helpful to believe these sort of things that were passed down to us? They weren't even really our ideas. They were just ingrained, and so we have the power to change them. I was married. Okay. I had the marriage. I had what I believed was successful, or was success, or enoughness. And it never made me feel that way. Seeking after a relationship from a place of I need it in order to feel enough, in order to feel successful, like I've made it, so on and so forth, only blinded me from myself, because I was so concerned with going out here in the external world to get what I want, to define me, when the answer to what defined me and the answer to my potential and my worth and my value was here. And I was so distracted by all this that I had no idea who I was and no idea what I wanted, that when I got into a relationship, it didn't solve what was missing here. If you want to get the thing that you want, you must change the story that you associate with that thing. And you must get to the root of why you want it. What thought are you having when you're scrolling, when you're going through Instagram and you're seeing these posts, and they're making you sad? What thoughts come to mind? What fears come to mind? And how can you get curious about them? How can you challenge them and question them and say, are these even my ideas? And do I want to believe these things? Do I want these to be my ideas? If I were to verbally tell someone, you are not enough unless you have a relationship, would I feel good about saying that? If you wouldn't, then it's time to change the story, and it's time to change the script. Decide what you want to think. And then when those thoughts come up, when you're scrolling through Instagram and you see a post of somebody happy in a relationship, and that thought of, I'm never going to find a relationship, or I'm never going to be able to keep a relationship, or I'm getting so old, oh my God, I haven't gotten a relationship yet. When those thoughts come up, challenge them. Say, oh, you're coming from, this part of me that wants to protect me, this part of me that has just been conditioned and learned by my past and by society. Oh, we were changing that script. Yes. Okay. What do I want to think again? What would I rather think? Yes. A relationship is something that I am growing towards and that I get to blossom in, and it will come when it's time. Right now, I don't need a relationship to be happy and to love myself. How can I get curious about my needs, my desires, my values, and myself in order to feel enough and to feel successful? And how can I look at the evidence in my life that shows me I am already those things? The more that we avoid doing that work, you're just kind of perpetuating it. Doing this kind of work is literally amazing. It makes me feel so good. It changes my mood immediately. And it makes me, it allows me to access the gratitude within me. It allows me to access the joy and the beauty of life. It allows me to be present. Doing this work is so beautiful. And I can speak from experience, just avoiding it more and more only causes the reality that you are so uncomfortable with to grow. And it grows bigger and bigger until it blows up. I also want you to know that when we feel bad and we experience those thoughts that are uncomfortable, we don't want to address them and do the work to change them because we're afraid of the emotions that come up. We're afraid of the thoughts that come up when we challenge our ideas, but we're also afraid of the quote unquote amount of work it will take to change our thoughts and ideas. Trust me when I say, one, you are overvaluing the amount of work it will take and undervaluing the transformation. So keep that in mind. And two, when you actually sit down and do the work, it is literally the best feeling on the planet. Like, just allow yourself to try, allow yourself to do it, and I promise it will pay off. I got a fortune cookie today that said that, so we're just going to spread that message today. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to say on that. If this resonated, this helped, let me know.